What's up, party people on the interwebs? What a crazy week. A lot going on for sure. Everyone's kind of still sort of in shock, I think, from what's happened and where we're at with it and what we need to do to be better. But I'm glad that there's things that seem to be changing for the good in that direction. I did want to follow up on the video that I made earlier this week to let you know what's happened with the formation in mortgage bonds. There's some interesting things taking place in the financial markets, so we're going to talk about that today. Give myself a little shout out and Align Mortgage California a little shout out because we closed one of the most difficult files of all time for me personally on the purchase side, 74% DTI. But what is it a testament to is that our company, Align Mortgage, is dedicated to underwriting to VA guidelines. We have one overlay, which is a minimum 600 credit score. And outside of that, we will underwrite to VA guidelines. So if it meets VA guidelines, we will help the veteran get that loan. Whether it's a refinance or a purchase, that is what we do. And we do it very well. So just want to give us a little shout out. Pretty excited about that deal funding today. All right, so let's take a look at this. So a couple things. This is the Dow. Normally what we look at, right? I always look at the Dow. Why do I look at the Dow? Because I understand the Dow. I've followed it forever. I've traded it for a long time in the futures market. I don't trade it anymore. But I do watch it. I do know how it moves. And this looked like a very normal day. So what the Dow likes to do is it likes to, open somewhere, create a lower low or a higher high, depending upon which way it's going. So this made a lower low. Then it likes to make this higher high. And then usually it comes down and makes a lower low, which it did here, but just barely. But usually it likes to make that lower low a little more pronounced. It didn't do that. Came back up here, and then it made the lower low here. And one of the things that we've seen at the end of every day, we've seen lots of buying. Every day. They're packing it in at the end. This is indicative of algorithms trading, electronic trading, plunger team. I don't know what it is, but we've seen the stock market do nothing but go up, which does not help mortgage rates, guys. Does not help mortgage rates. When the stock market's going up 2% a day, how are you going to get bond investors to go for 2% a year on mortgage bonds? Very difficult sale. But there's something that happened today that I think is really worth mentioning. And I don't look at the Nasdaq much, it's the Nasdaq. But we had something happen today with the Nasdaq. And the Nasdaq has really been leading, and maybe we should be following this. The Nasdaq has really been leading the way because we live in a tech world. We're in a tech environment. And the tech stocks that are and the stocks that are in the Nasdaq 100 that are really moving the market. So today we saw it kind of do a little double top up here, created a higher high, and then just sort of trickle down. But what was interesting about today wasn't just that the Nasdaq was down 0.69%. That wasn't what was interesting, even though the Dow held ground. What was interesting is what I'm going to show you in the next slide. We saw today, and this is the volume chart. So this is the quantity chart. And look at where the volume was today for the Nasdaq up here. This is going back pretty far. It's been many years. It's actually longer than this chart even shows you here. It's been over 5 years since we've seen volume this high in the Nasdaq. So typically, if you get a high volume day, even if it's just an interwoven high volume days, like these spikes here that are kind of sticking out, these right here, you can look at these and say, what happened on those days? Those should tell you what's coming because the volume really tells the story. It's the lie detector test, right? Well, if that's true, what did NASDAQ do today? Well, it went down. So it went down on an extremely high volume day, And so that may be a teller, maybe a tell, if you will, that maybe this euphoria is coming to an end. Maybe the quantity guys, maybe the algos, maybe the hedge funds, we don't know. But the quantity guys are maybe moving the other way now. Maybe they're going to roll this thing another direction. And that is something that could be happening, which would be good for us because we need help. And I'll show you why. Remember this, and let's get zoomed in here. So this is what I've been studying and really rooting for a long time. The mortgage bond chart, as you can see, we're in great shape, just kind of hovering and hugging, if you will, this 50-day moving average. You can see as this move along and we came back down to it, we always were able to close above this. We never really tested it too much. We're right on top of it, but we never really got too far. You see this little tail that came down, but we closed above, and we're just kind of hugging it. And right here is when I said, hey, I'm expecting us to go this way. Rates will go down, if bond prices go up, I think we'll go up. We've got the Fed behind us, but that has not happened. And so this is very, very bad. This is not good. And there's two things that are possible, though. And I may have even taken it off of the chart here because of the fact that it's so far back. But way back a couple months ago, when the Fed came in and just really disrupted the market, it's possible that now the technicals, which we would normally use to decipher this stuff, may not be valid anymore. Because if you disrupt, the flow of the free market, the things that you use to sort of evaluate the free market may not work anymore. And that it's totally possible that could be happening here. It's also totally possible, unfortunately, that we may have just reversed trend here, and it may be more difficult for the Fed's buying to push this stuff higher now. If you're going to have to deal with the 50-day moving average, which is kind of headed in this direction, right? It may be more difficult for them to, push these prices up. But the nice thing is that 50-day moving average is still moving higher, which is good because it means that we can still get, stay here at least. We can go sideways for a while before this is going to be a problem, because that 50-day moving average is going to move very slowly if the trend changes. So we have some time here. We can still break through to the upside, but this is a very cautionary situation where myself and a lot of people have been optimistic about interest rates getting better because the Fed's behind us, because we had the technicals on our side. Well, we just lost the technicals. Technicals are no longer on our side. Fed's still on our side. Optimism's still on our side. But the technicals are sort of gone now. So that sucks. It really sucks. Fortunately, I've locked everyone that I can. And that's one of the things that hopefully smart loan officers are doing. You're paying attention to this stuff. You're locking in. You're not waiting until you get the bad news or get the call from Barry. This information, by the way, that I show you from this mortgage bonds stuff that I'm showing you, and always that I show you, comes from Barry Habib, who runs mbshighway.com, and he provides this information to loan officers. It is subscription-based information, but he allows us to share it with clients and do things like this. So we lost the technicals, but we still have the Fed. Unfortunately, that just made us a little bit weaker on the ability to potentially move higher with mortgage bonds and therefore gain some of this back. However, that said, if we're right about what's going on with the Nasdaq, if we're right about the truth serum for the financial markets, which is always volume, which is what this chart is right here. This is volume on the Nasdaq, which today hit a multi-year high. And we saw today that the Nasdaq went down. That could be telling us that the tide is turning. If stocks start to get hit, which a lot of people are always like, why are you so mad at the stock market going up? Because think about it this way. The normal correlation is stock markets go up, interest rates go up. I am someone who's trying to help people buy homes. That's what I do. So I'm biased. I am. I want to see. It's not that I want to see people lose money in stocks. I have money invested in stocks. Actually, I have some hedges. I have a lot of different things going on in my investments, but I want to help people get good rates. And so when you see the stock market go up and up and up and up and up and up and up every freaking day, even though the world's on fire, and you're hoping to get someone an extra eighth or a quarter of a point on their interest rate, it does get frustrating. So that's the reason. It's not because I hate America and want the stock market to go down. It's just it doesn't seem to make sense that it continues to go up. So flat day for the Dow, Nasdaq's down, truth serum's out, volume through the roof on the Nasdaq, even though with the down day, which is not a good sign for it, but could be a good sign, could be what we need. Because if we're going to break through this 50-day moving average and get back onto the good side up here and make some good candles up here, if we're going to be able to do that, then we're going to need a lot of oomph. It's not going to be easy. We're going to need the Fed, and we're going to need the stock market to take a breather or two, maybe take a week off. We need the stock market to just have a bad week, and then we can get over this hump. We basically have now a hump to get over in order for rates to go down. So that's what's going on. Market is still on fire. On fire. It's at that point now where there's so little inventory and there's so much demand that my buyers are all sending me the same property to do price. People reach out to me all the time. Hey, can you tell me what the payments are on this? And I encourage buyers to do that because Is there a mortgage guy? I should be doing that for them. I'm the numbers guy. If you have a question about what's my payment going to be on this, then you should reach out to me. But when people are reaching out and they're sending me the same property, hey, we're really interested in this one. Tell us what the payment is on this one. Oh man, I already had 2 other people send me that same property. That just kind of tells you where we're at. You can make a killing if you're selling a home right now. If you are selling and buying in this market, just know that you can't win on both sides. If you're selling a home and buying a home in this market, you're going to do great on your sale. You're going to have to pay up like everybody else on your buy. You can't win on both sides, most likely. Now, if you're selling a $500,000 house and you're buying $1 million house, then maybe you can. But if that's not the case, if you're selling a $400,000 house and buying a $600,000 house, you're going to have a hard time winning on both sides. You're going to make it up here, you're going to give it up here, but that's the thing that's good about buying and selling in the same market. It's sort of a neutral move for the most part. Usually, unless you're changing price points a lot, it's a pretty neutral move. So you can't really get burned. It's good to do that because no matter what's going on in the market, you either win on one side and lose a little bit on the other, or vice versa, but it sort of washes itself out. When you try to time the market, say, well, I'm going to sell now and then I'm going to buy again later. I'll rent for 2 years. Those are the things that start to get really difficult. You have the opportunity to lose more money that way. So selling and buying in the same market does make sense. If you know anyone who's looking to utilize their VA home loan benefit, whether it's to buy or refinance a home, please have them give me a call. I will take care of them like they are family, and I will fight for them every way I possibly can to help them achieve their goals. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully we get some good news. I'm going to keep you posted. This is definitely something I'll be keeping a very close eye on and hoping for the best. So hopefully that's helpful. If you think so, share it with your friends. Tag somebody you know who'd be interested. I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon.